If America is such a great place to live, then why has the suicide rate gone up 34% since the year 2000? That's a lot, right? This one comes from Michael Schneider at the Economic Collapse blog. I'm not going to cover the entire article, but I will hit some of the key points and have a discussion about this here. We live in an age where we have unlimited entertainment. You can go to the store and buy pretty much anything that you can think of. You don't have to do much hunting. You don't even have to go to the store. All you have to do is type it in on your phone or your computer, and voila, you have a whole list of items that you can buy. We've never lived in a more convenient time, have we? Unfortunately, I think it is that very convenience that that has helped increase our suicide rate. Not only that, but the lack of outlet for our primal urges. I mean, sure, you can get on a video game and kill things, right? But it's not the same as, I don't know, having that warm blood splash across your face, cooling and feeling it cool down on you and harden. It's not the same. You don't get that splatter in video games, right? Things are just way too easy. Way too easy. Remember, we used to have to fight for our food or hunt for it. Otherwise we'd die, right? But now in this day and age, I mean, you can go to McDonald's and get a hamburger for $1. For $1. Although I do not really condone eating McDonald's, but, you know, people do. I mean, people can eat like pigs any given day of the week. Most of us, anyway. Now, I'm admittedly a poor person, but one thing I do not go is hungry. Last night I ate a huge plate of steak and potatoes. So there's that. You know, none of us are in shape because we can just go to the store, cook our meals, sit in our chairs, and have no problem surviving, and that's the problem. Like he says, we're literally drowning in entertainment, and yet we are far less happy than previous generations. In fact, the CDC says the suicide rate in the United States has risen by 34% since the year 2000. Men who work in construction and extraction, like mining, had the highest suicide rates in the United States, according to a report published Thursday by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. For women, suicide rates were highest among those who work in arts, design, entertainment, sports, and media. From 2000 to 2016, the suicide rate among U.S. working age population people 16 to 64 increased 34%. For both sexes, the occupational groups or group with the lowest rate of suicides was education, training, and library. Increasing suicide rates in the U.S. are a concerning trend that represent a tragedy for families and communities and impact the American workforce, said Dr. Deborah Oury, director of CDC's National Center for Injury Prevention and Control. They got a real fucking control problem, don't they? Knowing who is at greatest risk for suicide can help save lives through focused prevention efforts. You know, Ronald Reagan said the 9 most horrifying words you can hear are, "I'm from the government, I'm here to help you." I do believe if the government gets involved with trying to help suicide rates go down, they will only make them go up. As you can see, over the time, you know, over the centuries, decades, years, we've gotten more and more government control, and the suicide rate has gotten higher and higher. The suicide rate in rural America is 45% greater than in large urban areas, according to a study released last fall by the CDC. A more recent CDC report said Montana's suicide rate leads the nation, coming in at nearly twice the national average. Have you ever been to Montana? I was there in the winter. Oh, fuck. It was a miserable place. Oh, terrible, terrible winters. A third long-touted CDC study currently under review listed farming in the occupational group along with fishing and forestry with the rate of, or highest rate of suicide death. That occupational study was based on 2012 data when farming was strong and approaching its peak. In 2013, says Jennifer Fay, communications director for the nonprofit Farm Aid. Farmers' net income has fallen 50% since 2013 and is expected to drop to a 12-year low this year. And that's according to the Department of Agriculture. The Census Bureau has released new data that strengthens the case for calling the current generation of American children the welfare generation. Among American residents under 18 years of age in 2017, according to the Census Bureau, 51.7% lived in households in which one or more persons received benefits from a means-tested government program. Okay. If the U.S. economy was really in good shape, we wouldn't have such a dramatic problem with poverty. And this is something that a lot of Americans are quite concerned about. The following are some very interesting numbers from a recent MSN poll. Approximately 2/3 of people are concerned about the level of poverty in the United States right now. Women are 1.2 times more likely than men to be concerned about the issue of poverty. Generally speaking, the more money you make, the less likely you are to care about poverty, although more than half of those making $150,000 are still concerned about the issue. And Michael Snyder says here, men have a problem with compassion and need to do some work in that department. So, I mean, there's a lot of factors there, right? I mean, if you work in mining, it's a totally miserable fucking job. If you work in construction, I think it's miserable. I really do. You're freezing your ass off out in the elements. Getting cut up, getting injured, back injuries, whatnot. Same with mining, you know, you're freezing your ass off. And in some ways, AI will be a good thing, but in others, not so good. And I'll give you an example of this, the good here. An AI attorney, his only goal is to represent you. There's no political tie there, as with human attorneys. Now, human attorney has ties with the prosecutor's office, the judges, and they get to be buddies, and it becomes not so much about defending the client as it is the quid pro quo going on within that system. So, having an AI attorney would probably be better than having a human attorney. I think there's a lot of contributing factors to the suicide rate going up, but among them, the lack of outlet for our primal instincts, the lack of opportunity, financial opportunity. And I know a lot of people will say, well, you live in America, you can't get any more opportune than that, and that's bullshit. Every industry is regulated and extremely hard to break into. Say a person with my income is a genius. What if they're a genius in some way that's not financial? You know, like Nikola Tesla was. And say they can build spacecraft that don't require rockets. Well, they can't do that because they don't have the money to do it, right? And it makes you miserable being tied down to work in industries that are shitty. Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you. It is troubling that since 2000, the suicide rate has increased by 34%. I mean, that's pretty significant. Pretty significant. So, hope you all have a good day. And, you know, the more state intervenes in our lives, the more you're going to see that rate increase. The more regulations, rules, barriers that are put upon us, the more people are going to opt out. That's why I'm telling you, kill the state before the state kills you.